What's up, everybody? Howdy ho, howdy ho. It is Chastia, your cosmic tour guide. Your cosmic tour guide through 0 point shifts. We're in a collective 10-day 0 point shift with Sun on Jupiter. Entering into what we've been knowing is this split that's happening frequency-wise, but realize that that's all cosmic energy, and all the infrastructure of even 5G towers. Those 5G towers were there to be semiconductors for cosmic energy, but cosmic energy is DNA and all that's involved in it, that's in your veins in a simulation built on sedation, because it's what it was. And today, like right now, so because I walked it, and whenever people tell you, and this is important for everyone to understand, because realize you're about to walk it. Everybody's fixing to walk their way out of this. It's the only way that you can fully get out, is to unwind yourself from it. Because the simulation was wound into the 33 plateau, not the 44 plateau. Now, that's even Vedic astrology, because Vedic astrology was all involved with then gridding down the 44th plateau inside a wheel, because you're coming out of the wheel. I don't teach the wheel over here, this is what's going to happen, bam, bam, bam. You can't do that when the wheel's blowing up. It's a giant gauge on a pressure cooker. And all of the planets are now tuned back into a new human frequency, not the old one. Not even the ABO blood sequence that was pulsing through your veins, that was connected to everybody else, that had those same DNA frequency patterns, and all of y'all made a wave inside the bubble. Because at the highest cosmic knowledge and what these beings that were here, that were running it, this is just the information that they had in order to write themselves in and set themselves up in the matrix, in order to utilize the collective energy gauges to produce their own crap. That's basically it in a nutshell. So what's happened in the past 7 years is that the cosmos has been reclaimed through all the archetypes that were written for all of the archetypes, Venus and all her many faces. And you know, we didn't have a name because they were always finding our mummies and defacing them. And your mummy is connected, and your template is connected to that whenever you resurrect, no matter if you're next to it or not, because that ain't how it works. And that's how it started with the feminine. Then the faces were being switched. Then even gender roles were being switched, because it had gone on so long down here that they were controlling it and not letting the evolution or timelines move forward. They were deleting all of the family timelines connections for hundreds and thousands of years, because they were taking them over and then writing in their family lines into them, but all together, the group got smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller, because at the same time, all of us who were involved with claiming for the collective and turning the cosmos back on, and like whatever it is, it just is what it is. Like, that's pretty much where you got it. It took a mastery. It takes mastery to get to this point. But the cosmos had to be turned back on because we weren't in a cosmos. We was in a simulation. But all those planets work together with the DNA strands and connect only to the highest DNA strands. So also what's happening right now, today, May 18th, with the Cazimi, that's the sun is on top of Jupiter. But the main thing is it's a sun on Jupiter in Andromeda galaxy. That is the kicker point. That's the part that your astrologists and stuff probably don't know. This is the Akashic information that everybody's mind is going to be looking for, because you can't live down here on Earth and not pay attention to space weather and planet and astronomical information if you're in some of the highest lines. Because hello, that's why we were kidnapped, put down. Y'all didn't know who the fuck we were, because this is what we've been doing for them inside the line this whole time. So what's happening for the first time right now is because we had to do it from the inside out too. Like, we literally, I mean, that's why it only took one to get out. It only took one to get out, and to get it. It's almost like the whole divine feminine journey that's been dealing with the twins and the twin stuff. If you, the honest to God fucking truth about it was, we needed them to understand what we were doing so that they wouldn't attack us, and so that we could get the masculine, all the messages to all the MFers that are around each one of them, and show them what's really going on. Because it's all set to in divine plan, and there ain't nothing anybody can do right now but sit back and watch. There ain't nothing anybody can do right now but sit back and watch. Because it's like two timelines thrown up in the air. One that's backed by the energetic of the collective, and the one that was written for the human race. And I can promise you the cosmic collective one is gonna win. But those two timelines are literally colliding. And so I knew a lot of the times, and the reason that I was dealing with putting back the divine masculine again is because at least if I could get to the frequencies of the highest divine masculines in each subsector, they're all sharing different DNA strands, even if they can't purely process what we're explaining to them. Because there's... When you're freeing yourself from all illusions, and you have a lot of power behind you as far as collective, it's really, really, really hard when you're coming out of a programmed mind state. Because everything that you do in the cosmic is completely fucking opposite. It's completely opposite. It takes minimal effort to control it naturally, and it takes no money to do it. That's why the masculine has such a hard time getting this. And it was our jobs, and we were basically, I mean, the feminine, because we's trapped in the under, and we'd already met and made friends with the door guys, you know, towards the end of the game, because we were all working together. Even the door guys, even the ones guarding the door. It was more like it had to keep getting worked out in these timelines in order to match up, so that it happens like all at once. because the control was so bad and everything, because they could see everything, they could read your mind, blah, 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 okay? So it was the divine feminine that is like, we just needed to, for them, and this is because we were always telling them the whole time they were coming after us, the whole time that they were using us to bind the collective. And what I'm even seeing, because I had to go back to May, where were you May 2021? What were you doing? I'd like to see on here, like May 1st through May 5th, 2021. Take a minute, go back and look at your pictures, whatever, however you keep. Was something good lining up? Was something good lining up? Because that is when everything shifted in Nashville. Now, from the divine feminine's perspective and from a simulation perspective and how all these illusionary grids and things were set up, it's all off cemeteries and burials. All Memphis, Tennessee, and their Masonic cemetery looks like a little subdivision. Like, it literally has like a little street, and the tombs are all built up in the center. They're all built up, these freaking tombs in the center. And then, I mean, it literally looks like they should have mailboxes as you're driving through there. Now, that whole thing in Memphis is cored into underground pyramids there, into the Egyptian lines, and then connected inside the core over into Egypt. Because you got to remember, we went under and we didn't stop growing. This is why you kind of can't control this. It is what it is at this point. We're busting out of here. Like, everybody just needs to move out of the way and realize this is divine intervention, and the physics are shifting, and you have to control the energetics even in your power positions in a different way, or else all it does is start a back and forth motion. I mean, come on, we see that, like ping pong. The more power that the masculines get connected into the collective, and the more that they know what's about to happen, the more they panic, because their feminine isn't there to explain to them, we've been preparing this for 7 years. We've already done it all. We've already paid the price for it. Fuck, we came up out of the Memphis we had to, Memphis was just the start. We had to rise up and clear everything out of the Memphis Masonic Cemetery and then go back to New Orleans. But that Memphis came second after 3 Masonic cemeteries in Corpus Christi, Texas, and a whole handful of other ones. Then by 2020, then we had to go clear the entire New Orleans grid system. Now, and I mean all of them. Because energetically, the ash and all of that, it builds back up. It connects back into the DNA. This is why they washed out New Orleans before. That's why they tried to do it again in October 2020. They tried to get the masses to think that there was a hurricane going on so that they could cause one. And we stopped it. We stopped it. But this is why, because all the DNA lines really are connected in like oil. Everybody's blood down here was getting siphoned out in a weird effed up way to make oil. And so this is what Egypt, and why, man, it's freaking nuts. It's nuts. Now your body's blood is turned back on. The planetary system that we're all on is alive again. It's not dead. It's alive. And that heartbeat's going to push anything that's in its way in order to get from one vascular system to another, in order to complete the life process, which is how it freaking works. So what's happening today is that it's kind of like we had a group that got the message from the ascended and the cosmic crews, because if you're in the cosmic stuff and you've been doing a lot of planetary stuff and healings and da 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 da, you're probably abnormally feel like you're kind of frozen today, and you're having to stay, super conscious right now, and it's like you're waiting for something, but you don't even really know what you're waiting for. It's like you want to go do something, but then you're urged just to kind of sit still. That's because we're roping back in the energy from May 2021, May 1st through May 5th, because there was a mass deception that happened in 2021 that took the control of Memphis. Now, Memphis clearing in and of itself is a whole dimensional process that if you have these connections, then you'll somewhat have to go through it, or you've been going through it, because this is going to be all of the organizations that we talk about that get together and do their brouhaha. Every single one of them is going to be attached into that Memphis power source, because that's what it was. And this is linked into the Shah. When I talk about the Shah, and this ends up, this is even why the diddler became a diddler. Like, all the phonetic power of it, the music industry, basically heartstrings, heart melody. It's all of those stories of all the lines and all the sacrifices into the lines to produce those lines, and everything that has happened henceforth when you come in and claim will play out in your freaking world, or it'll play out in your dreams, or it'll play out in a smaller scale with other things that you're doing that you don't think are connected, but if you look back, you realize, oh shit, that was just a smaller scale version of the same exact lesson. But I wasn't dealing with a music contract. Or now realize that if anyone in your DNA that you don't know or know that signed a Masonic music contract or signed a Masonic any type of and realized that any contract down here was written with Harvard and Oxford Masonic. It's all written in order to control your power in your body parts, your cosmic energy connection into the land, into the Shah dimension. Because, see, you didn't want to be the sacrifice before. This is what everybody was trying to take our place, because we had been the sacrifices already, and now we're coming up shining like a star, and they couldn't figure out how the F we cleared all that, because their intention was to put it all on top of us so that we never could. Well, this was the last round. They had never seen nothing like this. Neither had we. And all of those ghost positions that I say that you walk are that in-between Shah stuff. Meaning you have a DNA line that's in a Masonic cemetery somewhere. Even if it's just a headstone with a name on it that matches yours that you don't know anything about. Because there's a lot of those because of how this thing has been going on. If you especially when you're connected into these lines down here in the South. But what I'm hearing is that we made the connection up there, and I'm just picking it up telepathy, and I don't even want to get into any country names or anything else. Let's just see how it rides. Because basically they've been watching us this whole time, right? I mean, we were government projects, hello. I mean, we really were kind of in the hidden space program. I mean, all the CIA and Sirius XM stuff was running through our field. We've been solving most of their crimes for the past 3 years. And that's the collective that was inside. We were solving them all. Then the cops would get the tip. Okay, whatever. We can't round up, you know. But I mean, that's how it's been happening. We've been having to solve our own crimes. We have been, because whenever you birth out of it and you correct it, then it shows up in the physical in order to fix it. No matter where it happened on any other dimension, because you fully claimed in this one, and your justice comes with you. It's printing. This is the same reason right now across the world and on TikTok now, instead of new in 2017, they found the Peruvian skulls. In 2017, they found the Viking queen with the coffin with the king's heart nailed on it. No shit. In full fucking warrior regalia. They found the 32 obsidian Egyptian statues. You got to realize that stuff prints when our DNA as a group is back together in that frequency here. They could have been digging in the same spot for gazillion years and they'd never find it. Because if we're not in, if that energy frequency isn't here on this realm solidified in the 3D, it ain't gonna print. That ain't how it works. This is how stuff just fucking appears. I need everyone to realize that, because that's what we're gonna start seeing more and more of in the reality, but it's going to match up closer to around May 2021 for now. For now. Because it goes a whole lot deeper than that. But that is a lot, because that's basically all the power grids. Because all that's hinged down here, honey. For the whole world. But they've been watching us spark off energy this whole time. That's that's why quantum has a new freaking military force, because instead of working with us, especially in the United States, since I woke up in 2017, I've been telling everybody from other countries, shit, you think you're enslaved? You ain't seen shit until you're United States citizen. Jesus Christ, Betsy, Lord, Overlord. Like, what the fuck, boss? You might be printing sand and you don't have a lot of stuff, but you're way more free with a dictator walking around, just one of them, than you were in the United States of America in this flip count. Because it's like the whole United States became a cell. So at that point, what was happening with me is that I was in Nashville. Now, I had already gone to Nashville. I had to go to Nashville by myself, and I had to stay at the Virgin Hotel. And I was on the 9th floor, and I knew that I was there in town by myself. I knew that there was somebody in that hotel that was 2 floors underneath me on the opposite side of that hotel that was doing something to fuck with my energy. While I was there, they had me connect into it's called Line. It's a social media app. Then they changed it for children after they made me connect into it. So that happened. After I was only there like 4 days. And when I left and went back to Ohio, I went back to Dublin, Ohio. The floodgates came undone. Now, we had already cleared the Athena statue. It's underneath in Nashville, because Nashville was also like a mousetrap. It was like a starseed mousetrap. FYI. Especially for women. Especially under crescent moons. Oh, shit, boss. our DNA will kind of be called there, like Memphis and Nashville, either one of those, and then New Orleans would be another one. It's kind of like you get called to go there, like all of a sudden, because it's a trauma bond, and so in your reality you'll end up going there, and then they are like, they're handlers, and they bind the boys especially are looking for the girls, and they're binding your energy, and they're literally getting paid to do it. And it got all out of hand when everything went quantum, and as the feminine started powering up, they were getting more and more powerful. But the problem was all of our energy was hooked into the freaking mafia and the cartel. And all we were doing is rebirthing. You follow me? We were just rebirthing. We were just connecting the God, because we knew all this would blow up and there wasn't anything in between, and that's what we were sent and hidden here to do at the end of days when everybody lost their freaking cooker cockers. And technology was running the realm without any consciousness. It's kind of why you have after-death timelines. Hello. So I ask the universe, whoever has that knowledge inside their skull and can spit the same words I just said, in order to put them right in fucking front of me, face to face, because we need to have a conversation. This is ridiculous. We need to have a conversation. Everybody needs to stop and sit down. And whoever the fuck is that supposedly is running this bad boy, I need to speak to him. And I need to speak to him face to face. What time is it? Somebody give me a time. There's my phone over here. Hello. Hi, Ivy. Woo. This has something to do with Ivana, too. Ivana, some stairs, a golf course, a torso. FYI. Same story. Expedia, Australia. Marriott and Hilton hotel chains. All the city managers that were in the towns where shit was going down. All of them. All the city managers. Especially on the West Coast. Especially on the West Coast. We ain't dealing with it no more. It's ridiculous. This is end of days. Nothing that you have is going to sustain. None of your weapons are going to work in a few years. None of the technology. Everybody's about to lose technology because they're not connected in their DNA to hold it. Like, this is ridiculous. Fucking sit down and shut up. You don't know what you're doing. All of y'all were living on stolen DNA parts. Literally. You're not allowed to eat each other anymore. I command you stop eating each other. And freaking look up. All power sources that were gifted to you on the DNA lines, I command delete from your field, and you get into the frequency band that you fucking vibrate to, and shut the fuck up and get over it the same way we had to get over it in order to get out. I don't care what you did yesterday. I don't care what you signed up for. I don't care how bad it is that you became and how evil you became. You can turn that around in a freaking heartbeat, and you can do the right thing and make it all for something. And that's what I command everybody to do that has any connection into my fucking Memphis tree. Everybody's guilty. Everybody on this planet is guilty in some sense or the form. Okay, clean it up. Get yourself out. That is what this is all about. This is ascension of the human race. This ain't about achieving enlightenment because you want to become an astrology reader. Everybody on this planet is having to achieve some sort of body consciousness, or else you're gonna float off the planet, because there ain't gonna be no energy to hold the gravity down here with what is happening in that simulation. You have to learn how to breathe on your own. Nobody can do it for you. You have to become your own walking pharaoh, and you will, because we connected all the lines. There is no limits to anything anybody can do. This is the time of no limits and limitations. There is no more limits. It doesn't even matter as long as you can connect into, you can achieve the highest strand of anything that any DNA that you have in your physical body, because it's all been completed and mastered on every fucking level. That's how we blew the simulation. Everybody's going to start at different points. Some are going to be wove deeper into the tech. They're going to have to get out of the tech first. Then they're going to have to start clearing their energy. Other ones are going to be so high that they're having to feel like they're having to come down and ground into it because their energetic's so high. But then they're going through their own challenges and learning how to ground it and get back out into the world. Like every single being is wound up differently because every single one has very specific DNA strands. And especially when the world fucking vaccinated themselves, because then it just made our pool even smaller, which ones we had to connect with, because everybody that took the vaccine basically turned themselves off. Well, thank you. Made it a lot easier, at least. The vaccinated are going to follow in the ant mounds, the ones that before them move the dirt out of the way. And then they'll come to a point where their vaccination won't hold because the cosmic energy is too strong. And then they'll bust out of it, and then there'll be a set of something that it will show up whenever that starts happening. Because then it's like your body's getting fully turned on and it was completely depleted. So it's like going from the desert to the freaking waterfall. And there's going to be some association and something that's going to physically manifest in the body is something that's killing people from it even, but that ain't what it is. What it is they just need to freaking start clearing their energy and understanding what's happening so they can process through it. They're the ones who signed up to get the shot. They got to deal with it. It is what it is, but you can get out. The whole universe is set up on this. This is the program that's running across all cosmic space and time. It's no longer, the whole world was based on spirituality, financial systems, currents, real estate, freaking all of it. How babies are born, medicine, how we heal, how we do agriculture, how you do military maneuvers, how you do everything, every fucking bit of it is based on spiritual or cosmic alignment energies and how different beings move in them. Every single one. This is why Babylon was so easy. It was so easy for them just to control the narrative so that we were all spitting the tongue to whatever however they wrote it. And it just line it up again. And it's like the collective would go unconscious and then get spun into Game of Thrones or some crazy shit because everybody's staring at it. It is freaking nuts, man. But what the collective had walked and been building and laying boards for, because for all of us that were doing this cosmically, it's like we were coming down, we were building timelines and building and carpentry from the highest timeline to the center. And at the same time, we were building it from the lower timeline to the center. Okay, y'all following me? And what the time, and this is what I'm like I'm downloading this right now. That's why I'm even on here. The May, that beginning of May 2021. And then everything really that had led up from there since 2017 for sure, for some, 2018 for others, 2020 for others, depending on kind of like which consciousness crew you use on. And I mean, we let them take us. We're the ones who, like, we purposely stood out so they would pull us into these systems so that when we got in there, we could bust it open and get everybody else out. That was our plan. And it worked. It's traumatizing as fuck. We had to go multidimensionals on a lot of different ways. If you ever had, like, I'm just now realizing too, because in that time frame, we were using a bunch of masks, like facial masks, and it's like, what I realized is I put on a mask right after I left there, and then a bunch of crazy shit happened in the timelines that was associated to a Henry Cavill character and a Natalie showing up, because on the internal, even because you got to realize the characters that were playing some of what you'd consider celebrity contracts were still in the DNA lines. So we were reactivating and rewriting those DNA lines the whole time, and we were internally getting them out, whether or not you were talking to them or not. It was the ones that continued to make the same and sign up for more contracts and not stop that ended up being the ones that were completely cut off. Because the other ones were activate and changing from the inside out when they were making the choices to do so in order to clear the lines. So that's kind of like the collective that's getting formed, kind of like in the ethers. It's everyone's kind of like popping in, that's in that frequency is kind of popping into that layer right now. But it hasn't got to where it's gonna kind of jellify, and then frequency determinations will be made, and then groups will kind of form in there. Right now, it's like everybody's popping in to the layer. And there's already a cosmic flow motion that the collective had set on those pyramid systems and everything that is the path that they got to if they do appear. Because they were following a guided sequence, not a dictated sequence. Because there's already a plan up there. It's like right now, it's like the roads are up there, the swirls are up there, like everything's already tuned to where we really shouldn't have to think about anything once we get into position. But right now, it's like we're all kind of just now popping up at different frequencies inside that. And then this is the first 3 day. This is 3 days in 1 day. So this is Friday, Saturday, or that was Friday. Today's Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So Saturn's Day, Sunday, and then Moon Day. So by Monday. And then we know Tuesday's going to be big because basically then what happens is between now and Monday, we're all going to be kind of coagulating in there. And then all of the most ancient cells that needed to be put back together to hold the most ancient through all the way down, as you fully activate in there, you're gonna blow out to a specific energetic, and then it kind of is like little bitty gummy bears all jumping in a big gummy bear. And then they'll become to where there's 2 big gummy bears with everybody inside of it. And then that's what we don't know what's going to happen next when that happens. I know there won't be a fight, but I'm not sure how it's going to... Yeah, like that's when the 2 gummy bears get into like that yin yang, because basically then it's gonna bust. The wave in between is gonna bust, and then the dominant force is just gonna basically wrap the other frequency. And then everything that we've done in laying all these timelines prior to May 2021, then it's like, then our motherboard, where we were, like our story, whatever it was, and whatever's built from it, and you've passed the test in order to get it, is like that. But it's a whole collective, because we're all networked. As when one of us rises, one of us gets a shot, or one of us gets money, even like anything, it trickles down the line, because it's multidimensional, and we healed all the lines, and it was always stopped before. So everything's working in like a reverse sequence. This is why they should have just let the twins come together. My God. Like, for real. Y'all would have been better off letting me deal with fucking Momoa, man. You should have just... I told you, all I needed was 2 days with that motherfucker in a room, and I'd make him your king. But you can't have that low frequency 50 fucking clone bullshit running around down here on some Anunnaki Elon timelines. Jesus Christ, right now. Created a monster that then y'all had to wake me up to come deal with. Literally. Friggin' blew up the cosmos doing that shit. Like, literally. The more that they tried to make of and mimic and the further and further it had to go out in space in order to dominate it. And trust, you couldn't outdo us. We can go as far out as we need to. So every time that didn't connected, then we had to like move up and deal with another freaking narcissistic something. Because then we got bumped to like the next level. Then when that one didn't kick in and they stole that timeline, did the voodoo in New Orleans and da-da-da-da-da, mimic, which is why you've got all these crazy characters walking on a White House and all this crazy shit, because whenever you do it to one of us, you're doing it to all of us at this point, because it's a freaking chosen template. But this is what all the money movement was about across through NATO and everybody else. It's free for us. It costs them billions. So that means it's free to the people. So why the fuck are we giving them our money to spend it to attack us? Because it's what it is. That was my question. Like I said, whoever is in the universe that can have this conversation, we need to freaking sit down immediately. And no other movements can be made in the under or the nether currents. No contract will be delivered. Nothing will be sealed. Nothing will be moved. Nothing will be switched. Nothing will be flipped. It sits right the fuck here, and everything will stagnate and stand still until I speak to whoever it is that I need to speak to in this realm. The people will not hurt or be destroyed anymore from your foolishness games that you've already lost. And I command everybody that reads that Vatican scroll about how to about the beings that are channeling different things get shock activated, wide awake, and see that we're the angels coming to save them from the demons that they're kneeling to. Asaderemo shekeren daramehe keren toho garantia rambo ehe. Shit's nuts, man. Like, when you started on your divine journey, did you think that you'd end up a character in End of Days? They blocked some of the craziest stuff on y'all. When you signed up, I want to know. See, exactly. Well, y'all know what's even more crazier? In the simulation, once you proved the biblical person, guess what you went through? Disney casting. And I ain't even kidding you. That's how we got out. We literally had to go through Universal Disney casting. Once we had already proved what deity energies and collectives we were attached into. Seriously, y'all. This is why, even it really did help me understand how the projector works as far as like the real cosmic projector. It's kind of how I can assimilate it into DNA and how I know this, because we had to go through it. But you still, in this in between, your manifestation and your power to create, and with the collective helping you, even as long as it's done respectfully and you're not draining someone's energy by showing them something just to, you need to, get them to manifest something. That'll spin you into an old level of testing. But the collective manifests it when we all look at it. So it's kind of like you kind of have to create a character for a minute. You really do. But your character is based off all the past life crap that you've already cleared. Or if you didn't have to clear a lot of shadow, then what your job is to do is go back through your family lines and ask consciousness to show you what you're there to complete and put it all together in a giant puzzle. And you have to build that into your character for a minute, because the cosmos is going to line up before you birth into it. It's like the shadow projection's going to line up first before you can even jump in and battle with the shadow in order to birth yourself into the timeline. Does that make sense? So there's a in the ascension, in the mastery, in order to freaking fully come out of this and then be able to master all the technical fields, master the screens, master all of it in order to get your messages out. Because, I mean, that's the level that I've been dealing with over here. So, no matter, once you come out, realize there is like this weird little Disney character thing. But what it's being used for now, basically, is because the collective needs certain characters to do certain things. You're already written in it. It's already written. It's just, are you gonna magnetize to the channel to jump into the script? And this is the part that's all based on your soul, and you can't really, even with the website, man, we've had so much trouble with it. We've had, man, nothing but issues. And so it's like I'm having to come to terms. It's like I know that we built Cohu 32. It's already existing out there. I know we're going to use it in some way, and however we're about to come into the market and into my character. But it's not, I don't think it's the way I originally thought it was, but only because, too, I only had that level of expertise when I put the plan together, and I was more in business mode then, and I couldn't, now it's like the mastery of the brand is to kind of show you, here's how the brand works. Let me use the colors and make it happen. And then how can I get everyone involved to seeing, that these are the colors that are coming in on a daily basis in these cosmic energy gates, right? Because, I mean, it's how it works. You're basically getting trained in order to use the collective's energy sources in order to project into the higher timeline. And then everybody's seeing us all come up together. Then everybody's going to want to know how to do it. Okay, great. Perfect. That's what we need. That's what we need. We need everybody to want to do it like we did. That's it. That's it. Because we're all of us, Starseeds, we got cards, we got books, we got the story, we got the videos, we got movies, we got scripts, we got, we got it all, baby. We just came out of Memphis, man. Shit. All we need is for the world and the girls to look up to some of us. I don't care if it's just because we end up with a rich man or a hunky man or whatever it is. I don't care if that's the only reason that they want to heal their soul. Okay, perfect. Good. Come on over. We've been waiting for you. We'll show you how it's done. The younger they are, man, the easier it is. It's like bringing them in on a tune-up. Literally. What used to take me 3 hours to do somebody's chart and breaking open all your mind programs and like clearing your field, because that's basically what I was doing when I was doing those charts, and having to talk to those of us that were programmed in these mind concepts, it only take me like an hour. If they're like, and this was like 3 years ago, so if they were like 18, 19, 20, 21, and I because I'm telling them, this is why you do this. Oh, my God, how'd you know that? Because it's right here. It's in your program. Oh. Well, how do I clear that up? Well, here's how you do it. Okay. Next. And it's like they leave, and they're like, they're on track. It's easy. The younger ones are easy. Because it's like, okay, thanks. Now I know why this shit was happening. Now I know why, they're already totally tuned into the new timelines that we're just now kind of, they've been there for a while. We've been seeing it. It's been getting closer and closer and closer and closer and closer, whatever your starring role is. Because it's going to be, there's stars for every single archetype of everybody in the world. coming from rich families, coming from poor families. But here's what happened in between. Here's how we met in between, because now we realize it's the same thing, you know. But as far as you don't have to become, what I'm saying is your role might not have to be blasted from the media. Your role might be because you're getting the cosmic energy to come clean up your town. And you might become leader of your town because of the changes that are being made. And everybody's got a different story. But I can tell you, if you're like really scared of getting in front of camera, it's probably where you're supposed to be. If you're really, 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 really scared of getting in front of a camera and showing your face and talking, and it's probably where you're supposed to be. And you can take that for every single thing that you're terrified of. That's what Marco Polo, which I don't know, I just brought it up again. And I've been talking about relaunching it, but holy shit, it became so powerful. Y'all, this shit is powerful when we do this stuff together. But that's why we used Marco Polo, because what we saw as healers, I mean, because basically your mind is having to become deprogrammed, straight up, like you're getting pulled out of a cult. That's why I said I need Momoa in a room for 2 fucking days. Because you really, that's how it works with us. When you first meet one of us, what we're doing is remapping your mind program. Even if we're just having casual conversation, that casual conversation will always lead to a deep root of something. And then that's triggered, even if it's not expressed, because our energies are merging together and we have the dominant mind program and ours is deprogrammed. That's how it works. That's why everybody gets so freaking triggered by me. Like, I'm just used to it now. Like, whatever, man. The more programmed that they are, the more they'll be triggered when they come into a pure mind frequency. Because you're overriding their program. But literally what you're doing throughout the tones of the conversation, wherever the conversation leads, is you're literally like an ant in their brain walking around the neural nets until you hit a wall. As why as starseeds, man, we know everybody's personal secrets. Like, we don't even want to know, but you're going to tell us. And you're probably going to feel it whenever you come in our energy. But that's only because our cosmic energy is pushing through all your stately energy. That's it. It's like once you meet, like whenever you meet one of us for the first time, you cannot base at all anything about the high frequency being until you're tuned up to them. Because they're going to play every mirror role that you need until you're pulled up to that frequency to be able to receive a balanced energetic. And sometimes you're meant to keep going with that person. Sometimes we're just sent in to tune y'all up because it's tuning us up in different ways. But then if there's some type of trigger moment or something, then you might have to part paths for a little while or always. It just depends. But that's what's happening. That's why it had to continue. It's not something we can slow down, because your ancient energies that are holding the cosmic mind, our minds would have blown if these communications don't get in line, if you don't send us the people that we need to speak to, because then that entire collective's mind's going to be blown because it hadn't been upgraded. That's how it works. So obviously, whatever happened in Nashville, because I was kicked out May 6th, is whenever they pulled that bullshit, and then made me go to the hotel where Expedia was listed under my personal address. And then I meet the two people from Australia. One woman I meet first from Australia in a hot tub is a carnivore from Australia, claiming that she just won the lottery. And that wasn't the only weird shit with the hot tub. Tucson, Arizona. After that, after May 2021, because a lot of shit went down from New Orleans to Nashville to Myrtle Beach. Myrtle Beach was involved too. Myrtle Beach, Nashville, Tennessee, linked into Memphis, Tennessee from the Hall in 2018. And then New Orleans. Back to New Orleans. That's the connectors. Myrtle Beach, Memphis, Tennessee, Nashville, Tennessee, and then Nashville to New Orleans, then New Orleans to Houston, and then New Orleans to the Keys, the bottom of Florida. That's the gate. And you can think of then, if you want to make a big circle around Michigan, and then you want to make a big circle around San Diego, especially Detroit and San Diego, and then that's like your bigger weights that are holding deeper cables at the bottom of the ocean, like and underneath, even way down, like cordon too, because that's where the Saturn, I'll just say Saturn main churches were, and where the energy was disseminating to. San Diego, Ocean Beach, and Great Lakes and Detroit. And you should know the experiences to clear from what I just said, even if you're connected into Memphis. But if you might have a story that's more connected into Detroit and San Diego, which is a denser energy, same frequency, but the underbelly of it. And then New Orleans, Nashville, South Carolina, it's going to be more movement in your life that sets you up. Like you're going to be physically moved into and be at the bar at the right time, be at this at the right time, that's how it works. Because it hits us in the South, because most of the South had more of the tuned up beings. We's all hidden down in here, and this is where all the pyramid structures were. And Mexico and Tulum and all that stuff connected into Australia and Antarctica. All of it, from the inside out. This is where St. James, little cookie cutter island over there, just got eaten by a bigger freaking ginger man. Basically. That baby ain't gonna line up. It's gonna require a bigger section to come through. Seeing if there's anything else that's coming in right now. We're on a 3-day And then 0 point is going to be on the 22nd, and then we have the flower full moon. So this is why we're doing all this stuff in the cosmos is happening to line up, because the collective knows that this is a flower full moon. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to birth. And this is where this is really hard, and this takes mastery. Like, this is all new shit for everybody. I don't care how ancient you are. This is brand new, because now you're having to magnetize in the frequency of your true being wherever you're going to enter into the stage. And the hard part is, you actually did this a couple of years ago before you were beat down as far as you're beat down right now. You're gonna energetically rise back up into that frequency of when you walked it, created it with the collective. But you know, we've had to fight for it for 2 years, so we're all a little bit beat down. We're not we all know we're not where we're supposed to be. Where is our manifestations? Why aren't they showing up? Well, that's being arranged right now. That's being arranged. So, you know, and you can't fake it. So this is also where you're going to have you're going to have changes in what you realize you've been creating. There's going to be a level up to whatever it is from what you built in May 2021. There's going to be a level up to it, because you went 2 years deeper. But you really did come in backwards. The story was laid May 21st and kept going backwards and backwards, because we had to go deeper and deeper. Well, now you're done. You've already come out the other side. Now you got it. Now, but it's changed a little bit, has it not? You had to go 2 years further in. You had to go 2 years deeper. You had to flush that creation through your field in some way. Because if you're creating something to bring it in for the collective, you had to rebirth it through your body. Like, whatever that was. This is why, if you've been only buying oil rigs and drilling, then you're kind of fucked. If that's what you've been doing the past 7 years. For all of us who were creating and having faith and building these timelines for the collective and jumping, basically writing in time and building bridges for mass collectives, because that's why we did it. We didn't do it for fame, glory, and the key to the fucking universe. We had the key to the universe. That's what we needed to use the damn key, so the key would be gone, so we could get it on and everybody could get their keys. Thank you. That's the truth. And all of us were like, you realize that when you go to the microwave and you're like, what the hell? Why do I need to punch in some buttons? Or when you go to, I don't know, it could be anything. But you abnormally do something, but especially I'm giving you the analogy of a microwave. Go into the microwave and pushing in some buttons. Do you know how many hotels I had to stay in? And I never had anything to put in the safe, really. But I had to open up the safe, like, all the time. And it's because in another dimension, you're literally, like, on a ship putting in number codes. You literally are. And the closer that you get to lining up all your dimensions in order to line up in the reality plane, then the more it feels like you're not moving at all. But you just got to make these little jaunts places. It's because the other realms are still busy doing shit. You're kind of waiting for it to land, but you're still in charge on every dimension. That's weaving. That's cosmic weaving. That's what the whole world is tuned to do right now. And it'll happen too, because whenever you're embodying and then you embody it, and like I just put up that video of me in the car in the Meteor from the Nashville, from Music Row. That was a car that wouldn't start. I got it to start. And then we drove in it. Well, when that lines back up and you're the one calling it in, there will be a meteor. There will be. One that lands. Meteors and all of that is basically like rocks and gears. Like they're like rocks that hold gears, and whenever the two frequency patterns speed up or they shift, then that rock comes out. And then that comet, which is tied to pyramids and mummies. FYI. That's why we know all this cosmic shit. You're like that level of consciousness was like, now it's coming towards and sometimes they need to get closer than others. But no matter, it has a shit ton of data in it. So whenever it comes in, it shoots through the orb because it's getting you and the human race ready, because that motherfucker just came undone. You follow? But that's what it does. The comet hits the atmosphere and the consciousness grids, and then everybody's getting downloads. That's why all those comets and the meteors and those certain, man, I can't even get off into that. Holy shit. All the asteroids and what they're named. No shit. But like, you don't want to get buried in that before you understand what I just told you, because then you'll freaking spin yourself out into a billion pieces into space by knowing all that. You don't want to go start studying the asteroids until you understand the cosmos. Then once you understand how the cosmos works, then you can go back and start looking up your asteroids. It's going to make more sense. You're bringing in the asteroid instead of blowing yourself out into a whole bunch of asteroid freaking propaganda stories, myths. Jesus Christ. They's just making those up. Seriously. It's like you can tell which ones are the new ones in I mean, like even Regulus. That's re-goo, angle us. Re-goo, angle us. Re-goo us. Everything in Scientology codes has re on it, by the way. An S, E-S, and R-E. Like every single one of the names in Scientology, when I break them down into Tokyo, Japan, cipher, they have E-S or R-E in their name. In Japanese cipher. Ding, ding, ding. I'm seeing the 100. I find, like, I started watching, like, the 100 was a big part of my journey because we were manifesting with Netflix. That show should have ended in the 4th season. But since the collective kept going, they had to keep going. And that's why the 5th season and after that, it gets real freaking trippy. With the orbs, and if you know that show 100, and if you, because this is, I mean, this, I was basically 2018 when all this data was coming in. I was sequestered in my room, and I had to watch 3 seasons back to back. And I had to do it like that because whenever I watch those first 3 seasons back to back, you get it really quick that we're all the fucking same, caught on different timelines and dimensions. Oh, really? Man. Well, I had watched all, because now I think they ended with 7 seasons and it's over now. But 7 or 8 seasons, shit, I don't know. But it was even part of the journey. One of the girls that was traveling with me was actually watching some of those in between episodes as I was running the routes in Desert Palm in Palm Springs to clear us from the Oasis grids into Las Vegas. Pretty much that I'm talking about right there, dealing with Las Vegas in the desert, that's its own special, I call it the GC, I call it the Girl Collective. Because most only women, because we're the first ones to clear through this, and the other ones wouldn't stop coming at us. In that layer, dealing with the desert in Vegas, and any connections into the desert in Vegas, the girls were completely conscious, undoing the handler system from the inside out, and the men were completely programmed at one point within it. Because it all started breaking open at some point, and that's when it went freaking wild. But that's another connection. You might have the Memphis stuff where I'm talking about the Shaw stuff. You might have, maybe not, maybe you only have the Vegas connection, but realize it's all connected. All these different power structure places that I've listed on here. But there's different experiences, and they don't have to work out in the physical. That's how we were able to make it through this, because that's why it had to be divine intervention. You literally couldn't get through the whole thing unless you died like over 350 times and could just step into another role and like walk in a ghost. Literally. The whole thing was set to fail. That's why the entire collective had to do the AB negative blood system to begin with, because all of our minds had to be connected and sent it up into the highest DNA that we could get here in order to get the fuck out of here. But because it only took one of us to get out of here. So that's why it's like all this checkerboard bullshit with the ill men and all that crap. Whatever, man. Like, we know what the true intention of it was. Even from the founding fathers and the masonry. This is why it was all done. It took all of us to beat it, and we only had it by 4 seconds in the end. 4 seconds. With all of us working together in one universal body. With all of our minds working together and mapping it all out. We only had 4 seconds on it. I mean, think about that. This is the more people that understand that the collective has been working together. I don't care if you were doing a bunch of stupid ass black magic or not. We used it to our benefit if you did. We used it as a carbon power source in order to blow it out to a higher frequency. The most densest energies make the most highest frequencies. You just got to be able to jump up there with it and twirl it and come back down. Well, we got really damn good at that. Cosmic weaving. At the end of the 100, it ends really weird. It ends really weird because it's like that one group is trying to have transcendence, which was really going on down here, kind of with this whole Joseph type thing. It's like that's what they wanted. They wanted for the humans to lose your body so that they could project into and take over your character. They didn't want the humans to have a way to stay alive. And to get their body on the way back down. That's what the whole thing was set up so that couldn't happen. Well, of course, then that's going to be the one thing that fucking happened. And that's what this divine intervention is. That's why you have to clean up your energy frequency and you have to purge all the trauma stuff, because when the cosmic energy comes in, it will trigger the fuck out of any nerve that you have that is raw. I can promise you that. We've all been through it. Otherwise, it doesn't clear that mind control clip, if you will, and it's going to keep replaying in your life until it's broken. You're going to keep manifesting that same trigger point over and over again until you break it. No matter how much you love them, no matter how much you care about them, no matter how much society says you should do this and this and this and that. I mean, because we all came from some crappy ass crap. Man, this was nuts down here. And we have to realize that the ones that we're cutting off right now, that it's for their own good and your own good, because then you won't hit your highest frequency and then you can't keep pulling them up, because it ain't mean that they ain't going to get it. It's just they ain't got it right now. Okay, cool. Well, you can't drag us down no more. Whenever you get your frequency up to the macrosity of Jupiter, then you can step on in here and you can write whatever you fucking want to write in order to show up on stage. But until then, you're uncoiling what was coiled in any cosmic, spiritual magic, blood magic, I don't know, whatever they did. Whatever they did, it's the source energy codes are gone. There's no framework to hold it. You don't have a weave to hold your little P's and Q's. For all of us that know like a little bit of how things are supposed to work down here, like it's just fucking nuts. It's just nuts that anybody's even spending energy in order to attempt to. It's just is ridiculous. If they would have spent, if all these dictators and all these whatevers would have spent 2 years cleaning their shit, then they'd be linked into our consciousness and everybody'd be rolling in the dough already. And that's the truth. And then all of us wouldn't have to ball up past OG level. I mean, fuck. Every single time a king went down, then a queen had to show up to collect, communicate it to two other queens, merge it back together, and then make a king that three queens made. And most of the time, the queen, one of the queens, is having to step into the position. It ain't our fault. We's fine just being somebody's wife inside the cell. Nobody even had to know our name. Hell, you could even made fun of us on the media that we're a little too fat this week, and everything would have been honky fucky dory. So everybody is screaming about their world's changing and everything else. They need to look in the damn mirror, because all we've been doing is saying the same fucking thing that we've been saying since we arrived in this energy in 2017. And I'm the goddamn doomsday seed. Let that sink in. The rest of it is just a bunch of freaking games and bullshit, and it fucking ends today. Everybody enter in their energetic fucking field and be magnetized there. Whatever planetary energy that you were fucking with, be magnetized to it. Clean your shit. Good news is, for everybody who's going to have to go through it, is y'all got some damn instructions now. And that's the part that everybody, whenever they go through it, they think that the people that came before them, they were experienced the same thing that you did. No. And it ain't about who did what and who's this and this and that. It has nothing to do with that. What it is that you have to understand what that power took from your line, how it was made. Were people kidnapped? Were they held underground and their brains carved into in order to get telepathy? Fuck yes. Everybody bitching about being an empath, okay, but you feel the entire collective, all right. Well, you's definitely in the Shaw energetics. Your lines were getting taken out in order to become the earth, and this and this and this and this and this and this and that. You were here to be a pulse for the earth, as Gaia and all this was connected. That's what empathy is made for. But you don't have to live in it. You complete the wheel. But you have to be, and you have to understand, when power is given to you, where it came from, because it's how fast you can spin out if you abuse it. It is what your 33 masonry is about. Every single layer that's up to 33, when they got caught, which they did, then they're getting magnetized into the lesson, and their entire line is going to line up in the rays that were governing atmospheric energies from level 1 through 33. And now there's 22 added on it, from 33 all the way up to 55. If you abused that energetic, you have to rebirth yourself. And 32 is wood, and 54 is wood, and 55 is star. It's alchemy. It's what the laws of Ma'at are. It's what the 33 steps were even set on. But I need everyone to understand that whenever they're caught, when the system comes back on and they're caught in one of these weird bands, that they were, and one of them is hybridization, one of them is cryo, one of them is metal. One of them is insurgents. One of them is Hydra. One of them is whatever they energy they stole, then that's what their etheric bodies are lined up in order to take care of it out in the cosmos. Because this is the real shit. This ain't no pretend simulation. Daddy, come on, get me out of jail. And those energetics from their pieces being out there are going to give the rest of us energy for whatever we need until they untie themselves. When they untie themselves, freaking great. Now it's not in a little bubble down there. Now we got a new frequency, and now we got a new member of our team. Come on in. Where were you stationed? Please write down all of your gifts and what you cleared in alchemy in order to get out of here, so we know exactly where to put you now as you keep evolving. Welcome to the party. There ain't no judgment on it. It is what it is. You abused the fucking energy. You stole the energy in the futures. Now you're going to be responsible for returning it. And I'm not talking about getting a lawyer. You want to come after Algorab gold out in the cosmos? Okay, great. Then your whole family is on Algorab, and y'all can hold the balance of the planet, and then you can print the gold through your bodies, and I command them to be lined up. You'll still be walking around, but you ain't going to be freaking counting coins on freaking TikTok and making people think that you got a lot of money by having people manifest that you're rich because you're showing us a bunch of your dollar bills. Whatever. You can print it on your own. I guarantee you when you're done being gold, you won't abuse it. I can guarantee you when you're done being the magnetosphere, you won't abuse it. I can guarantee that if you're sent to manage the under, that you won't do it again. It is what it is. And the sad thing about it, here's the sad thing about it, everybody was free. Everybody was free. We'd already tuned up into the frequency and to be able to shift this in 2018. Everybody was free. We had to turn on the cosmos in order to put him back in Saturn so we could get him to come off of us and stop this fucking shit. That's the main reason that the cosmos even came back on. How else are you going to ascend a planet with 7 billion whenever there's only really 4 billion down here and 2 billion are all getting sent money to take out the other 2 billion, and then the 2 billion that are getting sent to take out the other 2 billion are stripped of everything that they fucking have down to naked, and the other 2 billion were getting it all. And then the 3 billion that are getting told the story without the 2 billion in it. So now you've got 6 billion working against 2. Literally. And the people are wide open and manifesting. So you convince the wrong one of somebody's character and they make up their mind, then it's all over. But nobody ever had the full story. No one ever had the truth. And definitely nobody ever talked to us because they didn't even know we existed. What's even crazier is the Masons that were writing their little woo 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 on the White House and all that. Like, it got down to when they were coming after us so freaking hard. I swear to God, they fucking forgot that we even existed. I swear. And that's why. We literally we vanished out of their consciousness. They forgot that, but then everybody else forgot that we existed too. But I swear that's what kept us safe. Because they wouldn't stop. Jesus Lord. It's so crazy when you have everyone's soul contracts too. Because it's like you look at these individual characters in the game and you know exactly where they should have been. You know exactly what they should have done. You know exactly what part they should have been in. And it's always so much more bigger than what they sold their soul for. And you're like, oh my God, right now. Like, seriously, you're fighting. You were like trying to kill a divine being in order to be a cameo in a movie. They were all trying to kill a divine being to have a cameo in the movie. When they's really like the main character. I'm like, okay. Okay. Alrighty then. In a dying story that all came unraveled. They're fighting for a character that isn't even in the end book because it was fake the whole time. When there actually should have been 5 of those beings, and then 3 that were over them, and then 1 that kind of ruled all of them. And so there's really 9 parts, but everyone's trying to kill each other for the one that dies off in the first scene. Literally. This is why these wars are going on up there right now. This is Kali shit. This is where your knowledge and your wisdom is sharper than any freaking... You can't even throw a sword the amount of times that you need to whenever you spit something like that. And you'll be surprised when it comes up and who you're talking to. Pay attention whenever stuff comes up. Even if it's just some random person, you deliver a message. You can even see, we're back in that energy, y'all, where we're gonna start talking to people and their higher selves are gonna drop in. Have y'all had that happen? It's a trip. Like whenever they snap out of it, they get all dizzy and they don't know where they've been. It's literally like an angel, like the angels are lining up beings to get in front of you so they can jump in really quick so they can have a conversation with you on the ground. And then when the angel leaves, they're like, wait a minute, what just happened? You're like, it's okay, it's okay. Thank you, thank you. I love you, thank you, thank you. Because those beings are going to get a huge upgrade after that, but it ain't going to happen all right there. But to the divine being that it's happening to, that's what it's like. Now I'm getting closer. Now I'm on Route 66, y'all. Route 66 in Flagstaff, Arizona. Now I'm seeing Babylonian highway that's underneath Joshua Tree. No will, no mill, no bicycle man. If y'all are gematria, just write that one down. No will, no mill, no bicycle man. Oh shit. I know who that is. No wonder I got taken to Harry and Pappy's. Harry and Pappy's and the Apache. I command all Apache energy in the desert be dominated by the new cosmic currents now. Shit, what time is it? 5:15 on a 66. Apache is also a server, y'all. It's a technology server, Apache. I command all Apache Indian DNA currents to be deleted from control of Apache energy DNA and Hopi codes to override and connect to a higher cosmic current. I command all Sun Solaris Unix boxes be deleted from Geo and GIS grids and 5G towers and all magnetism electricity 369 sequences across every human DNA here and insert Hopi codes to make transition. $516. That's a 111, so that's on plan. So that's Sun Solaris. But Sun Solaris is a Unix box. Apache server, same fucking thing. They had HP. I delete HP servers from H. Blavatsky and HB Mind frequencies. There was Sun, HP, Apache, and they called them flavors. Like in the industry, it was what flavor of Unix are you running? That's how you would say it. What flavor? Not what model, not what brand, what flavor of Unix are you running? I delete the X from Unix. And I flip the N to a Z. And I drop the cup from Omega to ignition. And I drop the ignition from Z. And then I coil it back up through R and I and loop to A and wrap it 3 times and bring it down. $518. That's also a 69. See, the Hopi codes are basically going to run the energy from the natural sources through your body again. This is what's going to turn on all your cosmic abilities because you're going to be connected back in. Where others are just going to be flying off the planet, you're so rooted into it because those energy sources are coming in through you naturally, but they're also now coming through pipes, electric lines, Wi-Fi lines. When you hit full ascension, you're not just like you're having to get through, depending on who you are. Not everybody's got to get through metal. Thank God. We just needed a few to get through metal. And that's what Wormwood was. Everybody was stuck in Wormwood. You following me? It's a big old freaking puzzle, y'all. The whole universe and the DNA sequences and the cosmos and how the whole thing works in a giant machine and how it's laid out on the ground, in your streets, in your piping, all of it. It's one big... Well, it's not one. Well, it's fixing to be one big giant puzzle. It was 5 fucking puzzles, all stacked on top of each other with like Velcro and fucking boop, boop, boop. Little fucking tones even in some of them. Like, you mean... Now it's going to be one big one. Well, you can't, like, you don't want the whole matrix to collapse at once because basically it's merging into... You can't... what we were in was not the original Matrix. The original Matrix was hijacked and hacked. The original Matrix is functional and it at least had lessons. Now what's happening is those grids that used to hold in frequency bands on the land, United States, and all the energy grids, those are also in the cosmos in different layers as you break it down. It gets smaller and smaller and smaller. I don't know. It depends on how long you've lived where you're at and how gridded down into the land you are there and what you've been doing there. Like it but what's happening is that's mirrored in the layers above you, but there's escape routes and there's ways to show you how to move your energy around in order to then take dominant energy a little bit at a time for your city and your state and then hook it up into the cosmos. But you learn how to do that if you're a power source. You'll be guided to go out and drive around the city or something. That's you making a bigger area, and then you might go home and then you're going to feel sick and tired for a couple of days. Well, that's because you just went and pulled another 100-mile radius around you. But you have to in order to get your full extensions. So it spreads it out. So you're not going just up and down. Stuff like that. And then as you collapse those, then it shows you kind of with your movements when you get to dominant collective. And you'll know. That's why if you have been living in the same place a long time, like, and you've been in one place for a long time, you at least need to take a little road trip. Even if it's for the day. Even if it's for the day. Because you need to expand your energy and put and allow more to come in so you can clean it more and attach your magnetism, spread it out so that you can hold it better. It's a process. The whole thing is, it is a process that is repeating now for the next 7 years, but the process is now programmed to the human experience and all the DNA lines that it needs to complete in a 1,000,000-year count. That's for the whole world. Or they just fall off. Basically. Because there will be a lower race that is formed for this. They'll be the ones that are left behind for this next. Because once we line up, we pull away. And then so anyone that's not, so basically they they go back into a simulation. Everything's wide open right now. It's going to start closing, and it's going to close quick. Like those gates are just going to snap whenever it closes. And then we'll see others fall out of consciousness, but then you'll know when a whole group lost consciousness because we get massive upgrades at the same time. I'm just looking at the comments. Whew. Am I done? realize like sometimes me coming on here and saying this stuff is because I've got to come on and I've got to state it. It has to be stated in the realm. It's like when you're coming through these different gates, then highest perspectives of things, if you're a leader of knowledge or a teacher, your input is needed in that specific energy. It basically, the dominant will have to state it. And that's what I'm grateful for, y'all, and grateful on this app. And I'm grateful for TikTok. I'm grateful for the community coming together on here. I'm grateful for clear energetics. I'm grateful for all the attacks, because this is allowing me to get this out to 25 people all at once instead of 2 or 3 or 4 that all have to be cleaned at the same time in order to get out the right frequency. So to all of you that are here, and I know all of you want to share and get this message out to like a whole bunch of people, and for whatever reason they're not coming into the frequency, just realize right now that that's a badge of honor, and it gives you an idea on, especially on some of my videos. Like you'll notice some only get like 18 or 19 views. Well, there's only 18 or 19 that are in that energetic that can pick up that message. You start noticing, like, especially on my feed, what messages are getting out to everybody versus which ones aren't. Because in this new energy, it's more like we don't need everybody. Like, did you get the message? Okay, there's one of you. Sweet. We ain't got to do much work. You got the message. There's one of you. Or is there 5 of us? Or is there 10 of us? Or is there 20 of us? Or is there 100 of us? Is there 900 that just saw that video? Sweet. That gives you an idea of where we're at. And how, but I mean, you aren't going to have the ones that are only getting 19, 20 views. I mean, at the very top, I mean, it gets smaller and smaller and smaller. Every layer you go up there. Thank you, Excalibur, and thank you for the gift earlier. Thank you, man. Oh, and everything, I'm still recovering from that day. We powered everything up. Holy crap. But this club, and this is for everybody too, creators out there, what we're coming into is kind of like looking at those 2 little screens and you're like, what's different? You want to layer these different animals or different number codes or whatever. It'll be random. But you're sending out messages because you don't want everybody. You want the ones that get the message. So that's where this becomes almost like Ascension becomes like a mystery campaign for the whole world. Because, and this is how we'll be doing it, this is how even we'll be promoting our get-togethers and our concerts and this and this and that. We'll be like cosmic gypsies, follow the white rabbit. This is an example. But those posters, it's going to be tricky, man. Not everybody might be able to find where it is. Are you tuned in? You follow me? Like, you don't want to give all the data. You want, even if it's one fucking person, you want that motherfucker to show up. Because evidently, if only one shows up, that's the one you's looking for. If it's an entire group, then you know where that town's at. Then you know what's up. It's all the mystery campaign, and the ones who win this are first. You got to clear your energy. Now you got to catch the codes. Now have you cleared those codes? Do you know what they even mean? Do you have an energetic channel in order to get to the high vibe beings in your city that are having a little get together? Because that's how it works. It's all, and this is how the masses are going to see this, because they're gonna want to embody it for greedy reasons. Okay, fine, because you and I both know that once you get in, you'll be shown real quick. This next 7 years is going to prove to everybody who the fuck we were these last 7 years. These next 7 years are going to prove to the entire collective who the fuck they were messing with these last 7 years. It was how it's worked. It's how it's programmed. I'm telling y'all. The worse they made it to get out, their whole race is trapped that way. Until they come tell everybody what the changes are need to be made so they can save their entire race of people. Whether that be at an organization or not. It's just what it is. But we're ready, right? So be thinking about that too with any of y'all that are doing any creations or anything like that. You know, these are these like hidden symbols. You know, it's no longer Greek letters on the back of the car. What do the hidden symbols mean? Because we can find each other anywhere, right? We can find each other on the road. We can find each other through social media. We just, you know, X has got their symbol. Okay, that's a good one. But that is more what the higher vibe beings, that's what we've been having to play these games through all these social media stuff with these different symbols, because they were using them to call us into certain situations, yada, 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 yada. But we can find each other. How do we spot each other? The more elite and more high frequency that we make our group, and the more we rise together as we're doing it, and the more that we're changing and all coming into our higher selves, the more everybody's going to want to know how to do it, because they want to get into the club. Well, what's the secret password? Oh, I'm sorry, that's a fake one that I gave to Robbie. You're really fucked now. Margot. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Y'all know my real last name and my adopted last name is Ginzel, right? Ginzel. What's Harley Quinzel exactly? It's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. I break Harley and Haley comet energy from my field now. And I command the entire ascended collective disconnect from Haley, Holly, any bridge, alpha, angle. Ow. On every star point that has ow in it. Across space and time. And I order it to hue up to an alpha 3 sequence. That one hit me in my solar plexus. 535. Oh, shit. 535 is 88. That's an 88 gate. We just blew an 88 gate. I'm seeing Neptune. Let me see where Neptune is right now. I had a divine masculine recently tell me that he'll get to me right after his tour schedule's done. Okay. Your tour schedule is set up in order to not get to me on time, and the cosmos waits for nobody. The sun is at 28:28 Taurus right now. Right now. So I guess probably since I've been on, how long have I been on? Since I've been on, because the sun just jumped Jupiter. It's 7 minutes over Jupiter right now. Jupiter is at 28:21. 28:21 is 01101, which is 021, which is 030. 28:28 is 0101, which is 020. So 020, 030, 050, mirror, duplicate, mirror, duplicate, flip. That's binary codes. Oh shit, and Venus is even 2358. Well, 2358 is 558, and that's 10018, which breaks down to 1009, which breaks down to 0001, which is a fourth dimensional reset. That's where Uranus is on. So all the freaking planets that are up in the coochie coo of Pleiades right now just broke to binary. Oh shit, and Mercury's in Taurus at 414. 414 is 55. 55 is 1001, 020. And that matches up to the sun. And I posted the Stargate of my legs, all the moles and freckles on my legs, that's Stargates, and that was at 414 day before yesterday, Wednesday, which is Mercury Day. Jesus Lord. So they're all at binary numbers right now. Every single planet in... And two of them break down to 5-5 codes, because Venus and Uranus... Well, see, and Venus just jumped Uranus. Because Venus is at 2358 and Uranus is at 2326 right now. So Venus jumped Uranus at the same time that Jupiter jumped the sun. All with Mercury on a 55 binary count? Oh, shit. And that's an 020, so that changes everything inside on the second dimension, which is inside. The second dimension's inside your body. Oh, and the moon's in Libra. Of course it is. Shit, I think that's on top of my Pluto in my natal. 6 degrees and 2 minutes. That's right on the other side of Alpha Draconic Notice 2. I mean, Notice 1. Sorry, I don't want to confuse you. Alpha Draconic Notice 1. 0 to 5 degrees of Libra. And then nothing hits the scale until 12 degrees. So everything from 5 to 12 is basically a whole bunch of weird light show Illuminati timelines. Is all it is right there. Jumping to get on the scale. So the moon's going to be on the scale tonight on Algorab, which is us lining them up on their little kick line in their boots, getting them ready. You wanted gold, you're going to go make some gold. We need some gold now. Divine Feminine and the Maternal need some freaking ching-ching, so you better click your red heels together. For real. Don't even shoot the messenger, man. I'm just following orders. 9/11, 2001, this motherfucker Jupiter was lined up on, guess what? Algorab, the gold producer. What happened in 2001 is basically being shifted into the hires and everything lining up. Any data that was destroyed on purpose in order to block wealth, in order to block royal papers, in order to block anything, when the 2000 mind shift happened, it's been copied in the ethers, and you've been walking and proving your pieces of it if you're involved in it. And it's lining up. The harder that they tried to hide the information, the quicker it lines up. I think that should be a good thing to weigh out tonight. So that's what's being weighed out tonight. I love you too, Karen. Thank you. Y'all are so sweet to each other. Oh my gosh. This is ending the second week. We have one more week. We're going to have 0 point end up on Flower Day, but just 7 more days. Okay? Just 7 more days. By next weekend, this is all going to be lined up. I'm saying it to myself. 7 more days. Just 7 more days. 7 more days. And basically, like, the next 7 days from this Saturn shift will be everything that needs to play out in order to line it up. So it's already, like, in, the script's already in this week. This next week is going to be lining up to galactic projectors in order to project those timelines down here to where we physically stand. So just remember, if you hear a bunch of chatter, you're in a jello room. Might even be your room. You could have been sleeping, and you just wake up from there and you're like, wait a minute, y'all are all in my fucking room. Get the fuck out of my room. And if they don't go, then they're supposed to be there. But just remember that we're popping into this ascended group. But everybody's kind of like little tadpoles in there, like rubbing their eyes and shit. Like, whoa, what am I doing here? What the fuck, where am I? Oh shit, there's another one over there. How come they're higher than me? Oh shit, there's one down there. How come they're lower than me? That's where everybody is right now. Because our energy's got to pulse into that jello. And then the jello's going to move us in where we need to be to get next to the ones we need to in the jello. But right now, we just landed in the jello, and it's like, it's like a spark landing in lava. So it takes a minute for all of our energy to start pulsing outside into the jello. Okay, but you might be hearing something, sensing something. Some of y'all might need to wake up from your desk, clean out your room. But that's where we're at. Throat chakra stuff, big time too for the collective. All my ancient alchemists out there, just remember that whenever you're to call in for the collective to get the benefits of anything that you're even having to take or do for yourself, or anything to do any of my ancient alchemists that can help with throat chakra activations in the masses, mucus stuff. Go right down. All of it's cleared, and ask what you can use in your organic arsenal in order to mix some things in front of you in order to order all throat chakras open, and for that to be delivered to everybody, because that shit works. This is how you end up proving who you are. So whoever's in charge of throat chakra activations for the masses, we need your alchemy now. Need your alchemy now. Where are you? The nausea is because the current's running different. So if you get like a little headache and then you get nausea, it's because it's the currents. Your body's not used to spinning in that direction, and it's like seasickness. It's like you're on an ocean. That's why the nausea. All right, I'm gonna hang up for now. I might be back later. I don't know. I'm in a weird energy today. Okay, guys. This is where we're at. Welcome to Galactic Command, coming in loud and clear from the cosmos, landing upon your weird little simulation island now. Be careful, our big toe is bigger than you. Bye.